Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a great day. I'll just move this over a little bit there. Here we go. Okay, so say hello as you come on here. We'll wait a minute. Got a couple of things we want to talk about this morning, and thanks so much for all the good feedback. Boy, we sure appreciate it. Nativity, good morning, and Andrea, de Nouveau-Brunswick, and Lee, how are you? Phyllis, hope you're doing well. Corrine, Jeanette, how are you? Is it Jammy or Yami? Nice to have you on. And Nick's on with us this morning. Natalie. And hold on a second. Let me just see if I missed a name there. Yeah, Yami from WV. Now, is that, wait a minute, Wyoming? Is it? Yami, let me know, okay? Because I want to acknowledge you. Okay, Jerry, comment ça va? Go Habs, go. Jerry, see that? What happened? We're still alive. Yolande, bonjour. And Donna, okay. Thanks a lot, guys, for coming on. We're going to talk this morning, a few stories in nutrition this morning. Sarah from Philadelphia. Good to have you on, Sarah. And Susan from Hanna, Alberta. Boy, coast to coast in Canada and the United States and all around the world. We appreciate it, okay? Good crowd on this morning already. And Camelina, listening while doing my tomatoes. Okay. Good for you, okay? What do tomatoes have that make them so good for you? Lycopene. Lycopene. You know what lycopene does, ladies? Good for your bladder. Yeah. It helps so that E. coli won't stick to your bladder. The bacteria that often gives you UTIs. Lycopene. That's what gives that red color, that red pigment in tomatoes. Isn't it good for you? Same with pink grapefruit and watermelon. Okay? So those are ones that have lycopene. Really good for you. Natalie, good morning. Joss, good morning. Sandra, good morning. Joanne from Alberta. Another one from Alberta. And Morris from North Bay. I want to say hi to you guys because I don't like to miss that. Rosa. Okay, let's get going. And like I usually do, I'll come on afterwards and just, if you see that I said hi to you or liked the fact that you were on with us this morning, you know it was me. Sometimes I'll answer a few questions there after the show, okay? But Friday is question and answer day, so send in your questions for Friday. So let's get going. We're just going to talk about, there was two health foods, ladies, that I'm going to come after you with this morning, okay? I'm picking on ladies again, but I'll talk to you about that after. Here is something that you need to understand, because when it comes to nutrition, not all calories are created equal. So I just want to go over this with you so that you understand it, okay? Now, I got 2 jars of peanut butter here. Now, you know me on the Martin Clinic Facebook. No, Martin Clinic Alphabet. Vitamin P is peanut butter. You know why? Because I like it. That's why. I love peanut butter, okay? But not all peanut butters are created equal, okay? So I have one here, okay? I have one here. I just want to show you. This is a natural peanut butter, okay? This is not only peanuts. That's what it says on the label. Nothing else added. Okay? And then I have one, okay, is, this is roasted peanuts, but sugar added. Now, I just want to show you something so that you can understand what I'm going to say. If you look at this, for 2 tablespoons of the natural peanut butter, you have 200 calories. Okay? 200 calories. For the one with sugar added, you got 200 calories for 2 tablespoons. So when you read labels, big difference between these calories. Because when you talk to, I hate to be negative, but talk to nutrition people, talk to dietitians, they're into calories, right? Have so many calories a day in a balanced diet. Well, guys, we don't live in that world anymore. We live in a much, much different world. And not all calories are created equal. Now, I don't know if you get our emails or not, but an email came out this morning on tinnitus and vertigo. Really interesting, because Tony Jr., who wrote the email, talked about insulin being present. So what I want to explain to you this morning is insulin again, because it's a food hormone. But there's a huge difference between when you eat this one with sugar added and this one. There's sugar in peanut butter. Why is that? Because there's natural sugar in. It's like when you eat yogurt plain. Like plain Greek yogurt. Read the label. There's about 6 grams of sugar in there. It's the milk sugar. But a lot of people look at it because they look at the calories and then they see, oh, it's fat-free. Now, peanut butter obviously is not fat-free. But what makes this, okay, they only, per tablespoon, only add 2 grams of sugar here. Doesn't seem, they put icing sugar, which is made from high fructose corn syrup, by the way. But the difference between these two is not calories, because the calories are the same. It's not how your body doesn't just see a calorie and then, oh, it's a calorie, I've got to burn it, or I got to store it. You see, the key is insulin. And one of these foods, the one with sugar added, you need a lot more. You have this in the morning. It's not natural peanut butter. It's hydrogenated. They use it with, what keeps it, you don't even have to refrigerate this, is the hydrogenated oil. The vegetable oils we talk about all the time. That's how they make it. Yeah, it's got peanut butter. It's peanut butter. But what it does is it spikes your insulin up huge when you eat that in the morning. Remember what I was talking to you last week, or maybe a couple of weeks ago, about oatmeal? That as soon as you have oatmeal, no sugar added to the oatmeal, whatever, oh, it must be good because it's low calorie. No, it's not. Because it spikes your blood sugar and now you need an enormous amount of insulin. I like to have my coffee and peanut butter in the morning when I'm taking my supplements. Gives me an excuse to have peanut butter. But when I take the natural peanut butter, I'm hardly using any insulin at all. That's the difference. And People don't realize that because all they're interested in is calories. How many calories are in there? It doesn't matter. Calories don't matter. It's not, you know what? If calories were important, in this day and age, if calories were important, almost all weight loss programs are based on calories. I think Dr. Bernstein, 600 calories a day. Well, you starve with that. Yeah, you'll lose weight. But you see, it's not calories, it's insulin. And this is why we always talked about not only eating the right foods, but when you lower your eating windows, that you're not snacking all day and whatever, because when you have this, normal peanut butter, not natural peanut butter, you're going to be hungry very quickly because it spikes your sugars, plus it spikes your insulin. And insulin is its job is to take sugar out of the bloodstream and store it. And it'll go up and it'll go down. So people ask me that every day about calories. Doc, how many calories can I have? I don't care. I'm not into calories. I've never been into calories. I'm not interested in calories. I was online yesterday talking about LDL cholesterol. Do you remember that? And somebody it bothers them because, and I get it, because we've been lied to for so long. And I know every day still, I will still have to answer the question about cholesterol, and I have to undo your thinking. Now, most of you have gotten it. You got the memo. Who cares about your LDL cholesterol? You need it. It was only made the boogeyman by the food industry and the pharmaceutical industry. So not all calories are created equal. So just remember that it's not calories. It's how much insulin you need. Now let me blow you away with another thing. Ladies, health food that you think is health food is not necessarily health food. Okay? Two that I'm going to talk to you about today. One, soy. Ladies, and men too, but ladies, stay away from it. Soy is no good for you. We live in a world of high insulin because of crappy carbohydrates, crappy sugars. But we also live in a world, remember, 2 growth hormones. One is insulin, it's a food hormone. You only use insulin when you eat. Now, if you eat the right things, this is why the metabolic reset, the reset is so good. Why? Because it's fasting without fasting. When you eat eggs, do you know how much insulin you use? You know what your insulin is doing? Yeah, it's hardly working. You have a steak, a hamburger without a bun, a breakfast sandwich without the sandwich. Insulin is on a holiday. It's not doing much. It doesn't have to. Because it doesn't need to take that sugar out of your bloodstream. So insulin's on the sidelines. That's what's so wonderful about it. Okay, so 2 growth hormones. One is insulin. The other one is estrogen. We live in a crazy world of estrogen. Any chemical. We've often talked about plastics. Good luck getting away from it. Oh, Doc, I'm moving to Costa Rica. Well, good for you. Sucks to be the rest of us. But there's plastic in the oceans in Costa Rica too. Look, I love I want to protect the environment just like you. Of course I do. But don't fool yourself. We live in a chemical-induced world. Yesterday I talked to you about the FDA recalling hundreds of hand sanitizers. Ooh, I hate that stuff. You're putting chemicals, I see people doing it 100 times a day. They're putting estrogen right into their body. What is estrogen? It's a growth hormone. What does it do? It makes cancer grow. It takes a little tumor and it grows. That's what estrogen does. And we live in an estrogen-infested world. Since World War II, over 100,000 chemicals. And most of them are in they're in our foods. And you know what? Again, let me go up a little rabbit trail. Now people come after me, go, Dr. Martin, well, meat has got hormones. If it's not, from your butcher or from your it's not organic. Yeah, but so do your vegetables and fruit. Unless they're organic. They spray them. And then even the fertilizer, herbicides and pesticides. You think I just eat fruits and vegetables. I wouldn't eat meat because it's got hormones in it. But so do fruits and vegetables. And look, we live in an imperfect world, guys. And you're not going to escape it. Oh, I'm going to go live on the moon. Well, good for you. Where are you going to go? But don't add any estrogen. All these chemicals, but 2 foods that elevate your estrogen. And even for men, when women get breast cancer, because breast cancer is 1 out of 5, 1 out of 6 women today. When I graduated in 1974, in Canada, it was 1 out of 20 Canadian women would get breast cancer. It's down to 1 out of 5. Oh, we're really winning the war on cancer. Oh, that drives me crazy. When I hear that we're winning the war on cancer, we're not winning the war on cancer. We're not winning the war on cancer. It's crazy. We're losing the war on cancer. How can it go from 1 out of 20 women to 1 out of 5 or 6 today? It bugs me. Women are sitting ducks. And they're told to eat soy instead of don't. You can get your protein from soy. Do you know how many vegetarians and vegans live on soy? These meatless burgers or meatless sausages, it's all soy. That'll skyrocket your estrogen. That's cancer in food, in my opinion. It's cancer promoting. So, ladies, I pick on you because I love you. Okay? Men don't eat as much soy. If they do, they shouldn't. Because listen to this. In the 1970s, 1 out of 20 men got prostate cancer. You know what it is today? It's 1 out of 4. 1 out of 4 men after the age of 50 will get prostate cancer. Estrogen. And it'll grow, grow, grow. That's what it does. It takes anything like a tumor and makes it grow. That's what estrogen does. Ladies, you have more estrogen than men. Well, at least you should. You know what I found in my practice? Men, a lot of times, had a lot more estrogen than their wives. Because they had no testosterone. Their testosterone was sinking like the Titanic. Because they didn't stay in shape and they were eating crap. I get a lot of women say, oh, my husband, he eats like crap and he gets away with it. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Do I have to remind you? The tip of a ballpoint pen? Cancer takes 5 years to grow to the size of a tip of a ballpoint pen. Now you add estrogen to it and insulin to it, and cancer will grow, grow, grow. So even now that I'm out of practice, I talk to a lot of people. And they want to know, Doc, what do I do about I got cancer? Well, I wish you wouldn't have never got cancer. But now that you have, lower your estrogen and lower your insulin. And never touch soy. Don't have it. Oh, Doc, soy milk, is it better than milk? Nah. Don't buy milk in the grocery store, but don't buy soy either. What about almond milk? I'm not big on it. Drink water and coffee. Have vitamin C and vitamin W. Water. Live on that. Get used to it. Suck it up, buttercup. I tell people, well, yeah, Doc, I don't like water. Suck it up. You need it. You're like the ocean. Planet Earth, 70% of the earth is water. So is your body. You need water from your brain to your toes. Oh, Doc, I don't like water. Well, learn to love it. It's amazing what happens. You can change habits. I got a good friend of mine, Richard. And he was Pepsi or Coke? Pepsi drinker. Oh, I love the guy. I said, you got to stop that. Start drinking water. You'll get used to it. You know what? I was right. He's used to it now. It's amazing what happens. Okay, what's the other food? What's the other food? Ladies, hummus. It's a phytoestrogen. Stop eating that stuff. I know you like it. It's not good for you. Maybe 50 years ago it was better for you, but we live in a crazy estrogen-dominated world. So don't add any estrogen. You got enough. Just living in the environment that we live in. That's why we see so much cancer. Why do we see so much cancer? What is it, Doc? Well, you know me, I'm a simple guy. Let's go back to basics. Why? I'm a why guy. Cause and effect. Tony Jr. and I, we sit and talk all the time about the world and what's happening and what we see in the health news. And he's a lot smarter than his dad. He's always asking why. Why does that happen? Why does that happen? You go to your doctor. You want to know if a doctor's good or not? How many questions are they asking you? When, where, why, what? You know, the 5 W's. Right? How long has this been going on? What's going on? They question. I'm a question guy. Doesn't take me long usually to figure out what's going on as long as I can ask you some questions. Right? And this is important. You want to know a good doctor? They're asking questions. My dad taught me that. Ask questions. Your patient has inside information, my dad said. I used to love that. They got inside information. If you don't ask, you're not going to find out. So, avoid soy. Avoid hummus. Now, one thing you can have, ladies, that will actually block your estrogen is flax seeds. I like flax seeds. Flax seeds have a compound in them called lignans. 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 I think that's how you say it. And lignans block estrogen. Because some people will tell you, well, don't eat flax because it's a phytoestrogen. But no, it has lignans. And lignans blocks estrogen. So you can have that. And you don't need to grind it up either. You don't have to. Why? Your stomach will do it. Okay? So isn't that interesting? Okay, so we talked about estrogen. We talked about insulin. We talked about calories. I don't care how many calories are in the food. I want to know how much insulin you're going to need. And you need to be careful with the labels, because if you look at the amount of sugars in the normal peanut butter, you got 2 grams of sugars with 1 tablespoon in one, okay? And the other one has 2 grams of sugar with 2 tablespoons. That's the natural peanut butter. There's less sugar in it. But labels can be deceiving because it's not insulin that they're measuring. They're measuring calories. And like I said, calories mean nothing. Your body doesn't respond to calories. It responds to insulin, how much insulin you are using. Okay? Now, let me just, there was a study came out, and it bugs me so much. Hey, a lot of things bug me, right? But last year, Coca-Cola, which is one of the big, there's 8 big food companies left in the world. There's not hundreds of them. You would think so. Go to the middle aisles of your grocery store, and you would think there's hundreds and hundreds of different companies that own, but no, there's 8. And they own almost all the, almost every brand that you see, okay? And so they buy up any new ones that come out. They'll buy them up. If they're successful, they'll take them and they'll buy them and they'll put them into their, but all I'm saying is this, because there was an article that I read where Coca-Cola spent billions of dollars, not millions, billions of dollars in marketing that sugar wasn't near as toxic as Dr. Martin makes it out to be, and others like me. You know me, sugar is the new poison. Sugar is the new smoking. Sugar is very toxic. If you don't believe that, empty out your blood. You can have the worst meal in the world, like chocolate pie for breakfast or whatever, but half an hour later, empty out your bloodstream, take out the 5 liters of blood, and you'll only have about a half a teaspoon of sugar in your blood. You know why? Because your sugar is so toxic that it can't stay in your bloodstream. That's how toxic it is. Your body will do everything it can to get sugar out of your bloodstream. So when people tell me, oh, doc, I need to have a little bit of sugar, don't I? No. Because if your body needs any sugar at all, it'll take steak and make a little bit of sugar out of it. You don't need sugar. You don't. Now, there's sugar in nature. There's sugar in fruit. There's sugar in vegetables, most of them. There's sugar in peanut butter, naturally. There's sugar in yogurt, naturally. But what kills you is when they add sugar. Okay? When they add sugar. So, just a news report came out, said that Coke was spending billions of dollars to undo the damage of added sugar to foods. And they were paying off researchers to downplay the toxicity of sugar. Wow. Wow. And you know what they're saying? It's not the sugar, it's the amount of calories. So just have some. Oh. And then Nestle's, I was reading this is a New York Times story, that Nestle's, another big, huge conglomerate in the food industry, spent billions of dollars going after in the third world. And this one was about Brazil, which I wouldn't consider the third world. But they have door-to-door salesmen in the poor areas bringing samples of cookies and cakes and stuffed in packaged processed foods and telling them, we put vitamins in these things, they're good for you. Knowing full well that they're going to hook. They're going to make addicts. It's a big problem in our society today. Everybody wants to talk about a virus, but nobody wants to talk about food. Everybody wants to talk about putting a mask on, but they don't want to talk to you about lowering your insulin, which is the big problem, even in the virus. Anyways, that's my job. I'll talk to you about it. Okay, so tomorrow, question and answers, Friday. Any question at all, send it in, okay? And I hear the gel came out. I was a little premature last week. I had a sample of it. I love that gel. Okay. So, a lot of people were screaming at me yesterday, hey, I just work here. I don't run things. I'm not the boss. Okay. Invite your friends to be part of the Martin Clinic Facebook group. We appreciate it. Share this with other folks. We appreciate that too. You know how Facebook works? The more likes and the more they like the interaction. So that helps us to get the message out to hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people. Okay? I was sort of doing a calculation the other day between the podcast and the Facebook. We got over a couple of million hits. So that's tremendous. We appreciate it. Okay, so God bless you. We love you dearly. Watch, ladies, your soy and your hummus. And we'll talk to you tomorrow.